Welcome, my beautiful geekies, to a kind of special video, a first on my channel. Throughout the year of 2019, I've had a few films that I just haven't found the time to review all by themselves on my channel. But I just love talking about movies with you guys, and I've had the urge of talking about these ones. Plus, with my 2-week hiatus from the channel, time became even tighter. So today I thought I'd bring you some rapid fire reviews for about 5 or 6 movies in this one video. And the one that's been on the pipe for the longest time is an animated film. It's Justice League versus the Fatal 5. This film surprised me in every conceivable way. It takes place on the timeline of the DC animated universe from the TV series, Batman the Animated Series, Superman, Justice League Unlimited, and it continues those stories, but it also adds elements from previous animated films, and it tells the story of these villains that have come from the 31st century after facing off and basically destroying the Legion of Superheroes. They come to present day and they face off against Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, the new Green Lantern, Jessica Cruz, and one of the members of the Legion of Superheroes, Starboy. The animation in this is just fantastic, and the action just doesn't stop throughout the film. But what surprised me the most was the dramatic elements and how effective they were. I really got to care for these unknown characters that I don't remember ever seeing before. I wasn't a fan of the Legion of Superheroes growing up. Not any animated version of them, and not the comics, but Jessica Cruz and Starboy, these characters are just awesome. And the villains are great as well. They are true menaces that stand up to Batman, Wonder Woman, Superman. It's funny, it's entertaining, it's action-packed, and again, dramatic elements really work. Not to mention that the voice cast is absolutely superb. My only flaw with this film is that near the end it kind of rushes itself and takes away a little bit of what made me like the villains of the film so much throughout the entire story. I'm going to give Justice League versus the Fatal 5 a B+. The next film I saw was The Current War. This one came out in the UK a few weeks ago. I caught it then, but I was just so down on it. Controversy was that this film, belonging to the Weinstein Company, was caught in the crossfires of the Weinstein controversy, I guess people are calling it that. So it was on the pipe for a long time. This film was supposed to come out in 2017. It features Benedict Cumberbatch, features Tom Holland, Michael Shannon, Nicholas Hoult. It's just a great cast, and everyone gives really top-notch performances. Nothing you wouldn't expect from any of these actors, but especially Shannon and Cumberbatch, especially when they're playing off each other, is just mwah, chef's kiss right there. There are a lot of issues with this film, however. The pacing is all over the place. The cinematography just comes across as odd. It's something that I never like in movies, but especially a film that talks about creating and distributing light and electricity throughout the world. It has some very badly lit scenes. It just comes across as one of those films that, despite featuring great performances and letting you know what happened in the lives of the characters, all this film is there to do, seemingly, is to tell you the order of events and to basically be a history lesson. There's not much there in terms of entertainment. There's not much there in terms of thematic nature, in terms of something the story actually has to say. Apart from the performances, I don't feel like I enjoyed many things in this film. The editing, I'm remembering now, wow, the editing. Whew, the editing of this film, wow. I'm giving The Current War a D+. And another film with Nicholas Hoult is Tolkien, of course, about the very famous writer of The Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit books. I was really looking forward to this film because I'm a fan of the writer, and I'm a fan of Nicholas Hoult and of the beautiful Lily Collins. These two not only have great chemistry on screen, but their love story is the best part of this film. And so are their performances. They're the shining stars in this film. Everything they say, everything they do, I fell in love with watching them grow as a couple and as individuals. Tolkien is kind of messy, however. It tells this love story, but it also tells the story of Tolkien growing up with his friends from his school into adulthood, and also tells the story of when he was at war, and you see this imagery that inspires him to write Lord of the Rings. And all these pieces are good on their own, but they kind of scramble the movie around. For instance, the war scenes, I would like to see an entire film just of that, or at least an episode of one miniseries about Tolkien just on that. And after a while, the war scenes do feel repetitive. He's either really tired, or he's about to faint, or he's waking up after fainting, and he sees all this horrific stuff, and it mainly focuses on him throughout all these scenes, just trying to find one of his friends, or telling someone to go find one of his friends because he can't go himself. There are a lot of good things in this film. The editing is just fine. The writing is actually really good in terms of dialogue, in terms of character progression. I just feel that the stories within this greater story just didn't come together as well. It spans a lot of years, but it doesn't connect these dots tightly enough. I'm giving Tolkien a C+. And I had an early screening back in the UK for Crawl. This was an early screening because Crawl, as far as I know, hasn't even come out yet in the UK, or it has just come out this week, or it's coming out this week. But in the States, it's come out July 12th, I think, something like that. And this one is about a daughter going to her father's house as an hurricane is nearing their living area, and they get trapped, and there's a lot of water, and there are crocodiles, or gators. I can never tell the difference. And this was fine. It's a B movie for sure. I wasn't expecting anything else. This is a film that wasn't as bad as it looked, judging from the trailers, but it's not nearly as good as people are saying. To me, of course. That's just my opinion. I think Case Codelario and Bill Pepper are fine in this film. They are serviceable. It's not like I think they have much to work with. The film does just enough to make you care about this father and daughter dynamic, and you root for them because you don't want to see other human beings getting eaten by gators. There's also a dog, and that always works to make you root for characters, and you root for the dog. But the film throughout is just very convenient. The gators sometimes can do some stuff, and then other times they can't. People recuperate from very bad injuries like that. These injuries that happen in this film, Kaya and Bill Pepper, I don't remember the characters' names, they shouldn't be walking as easily as they are after some of the stuff that happens early on in the film. And the film establishes that she's a great swimmer, but there are things that not even Michael Phelps could do against these gators, and she does it. Not to mention that these gators never look all the way real. In some shots they look really bad, in other shots they look a little bit better, but never... They're never quite there. And again, this is a B movie, this is a low budget, and I would forgive it if they were consistent in their quality. And again, I'm not even the worst guy to complain about special effects. It's about the least bad thing I can find in the film. But the inconsistency on the quality in each shot just bother me really, really bad. I'm going to give Crawl a C-. I also saw the Netflix movie Secret Obsession, and it's shit. Watch the trailer, you've basically seen the film. I'm going to give it an F. There's not really much more to say about this film. It's just that bad. I was expecting it to be so bad it's good, but it's just bad. I don't even want to talk about it. And the most recent film I saw was Anna, the latest Luc Besson film. It takes place in the 80s/90s and it stars a first-time actress, Sasha Luss, as well as Cillian Murphy, Luke Evans, and Ellen Mirren. It involves the KGB and the CIA. It's a spy film, basically. A femme fatale is the main star of this film. Throughout this film, it felt like Luc Besson was on autopilot. There are things in this film that just don't click. The direction just feels throughout somewhat off. And the story doesn't even click. The editing is all over the place as well. This film jumps back and forth for 2 straight hours non-stop. And it's just very confusing. The action scenes as well, they range for absolutely atrocious to serviceable. okay. And there are scenes you can see Sasha Lutz is doing stuff herself, or at least they really tricked me. Every time Luke Evans, Cillian Murphy, or Ellen Mirren are in a scene, it just somehow gets elevated. That's the quality of these actors. The dialogue is not all the way there. The settings are actually really nice. The staging of this espionage stuff is actually really good. There are relationships in the film that really work for me, especially Anna's relationship with her boss, played by Ellen Mirren, who again, I don't remember the name of, but the film just doesn't hit that punch in any way. There's a cool action montage with In Excess playing in the background, and I was entertained by that. There are a few funny moments, but that's about the best thing I can say about this film. And you guys know me, I'm a director myself. I've directed people, I've written my stuff, I've directed my stuff. Sasha Lutz is not ready to carry a film. And this movie proves it. I think she has potential. I think she could someday be one of the greatest actresses alive, just like any actor working today could. But right now, I just wouldn't put her as the star of any movie. I'm giving Anna a C-. And those are all the reviews I have for you right now. Stay tuned. For today, I will have my review for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Finally, it's coming out over here. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. And check out my reviews for Hobbs and Shaw and for Jackie Brown. My Tarantino series will continue. And I hope to see you on my next review or any other video I might upload. And let me know what you think of this format. Thank you so much for watching. You guys are the best. So stay beautiful, stay geeky, and don't forget to subscribe and like the video because it really helps me out. And until I see you again, love each other and love the movies.